How we doing, everybody? Tommy Gunricci here, Who Banging Sports Talk. I'm back in the lab, rambling and gambling. And today what I'm going to do is just talk about something pretty basic, but I'll tell you it's something that now that we're 58, 59 games into the season, I think every team has at least 51, 52, but no one has 60 yet. But we are into that range of the season, and some of these teams are starting to form a story. Some of them, good, some of them bad. So we're going to try to keep track as it goes on with, ATS numbers, things that, money line, and what this video is about. It's the top 10 money line teams, including first five, which is important, and a stat that you don't always get. Of course, these numbers are a little subjective. I mean, we all get a little bit different numbers and maybe different odds. Um, these are just ones that I follow all the time. They're updated every day, and so anyhow, let's get going. Listen, I always say, so, even if it's basic knowledge, knowledge is good, and sometimes knowledge is always good, and sometimes it's like even these basic things like this, people we forget. We forget how. We forget sometimes some of these things, so it's always good, even for us experienced guys, to always, do some of the basic numbers and basic data, and keep it in the back of our head. So let's get going. Moneyline top team, no surprise, is with the top team record is not the top team in Moneyline units ones. What I'm going to give you is unit one. I'm going to give you their record straight up, and then we'll do that with first five. And I also have return on investment percentages um, down. So it's a few interesting spots. Yankees 40 and 15, best team around still, with the Mets right behind them at 38 and 20. But the Yankees, if you bet them every game, you should be up almost 9 units. A little bit. It's a tick under 9 units, where the Mets are a tick over 10 units. So with a difference of some games there, won and lost. But so something I also see interesting is those Yankees, man, 23 and 7 in the Bronx. So they are doing well at home, and actually so are the Mets, 19 and 8 at home. So which is great for us New York people. We're getting a good fill of baseball at the beginning of the season. Anyhow, number three, Houston Astros, always in the mix, 36 and 20, with about 3.5 units won. If you bet them throughout the year. As far as ROI, the top three teams are the Yankees, Mets, and Nationals, but in different order. The Mets are the top team return on investment percentage. They're at about a little bit over 18%. The Yankees are at 15, a little bit over 15 and a half, 15.6% to be exact is the number I have. The Astros a little bit over 10%. So there's a little bit different than with the straight up and the units one dictate. Number four, the Dodgers. Now I found this interesting: 35 and 20. They are minus 1.37 units on the Dodgers, and I guess that's because of their big and what recently just happened with the Pirates added to this. Them losing at minus 360 and minus three something and minus 280, whatever the hell it was. So that definitely hit this ROI down. But the Dodgers, even though they're the fourth best team straight up, 35 and 20, 18 and 10 away, 17 and 10 at home. They are minus 1.37 units. So just goes to show you, just betting the favorite doesn't always just correlate to a win. I know people talk about a 73% win rate on like minus 200 faves. What I have is minus 200 faves or more are at about a 71%. We're 73%, 71% now, and it's like a 1.5, 2% ROI only on that. So you see the fine line you got to walk if you're playing those kind of numbers all the time. San Diego Padres, number five. 34 and 22 with over almost 5.5 units won. If you bet the San Diego Padres, as far as in the rankings, actually I was wrong about the ROI rankings. The Astros were number four, Mets number one, Yankees number two. The Padres were number three at a 13% ROI with about a almost 5.5 units won, but if those 5.5 units won are correlating to a 13% ROI, so there's some dog play in there that they hit, so or some low, minus 110s, minus, that kind of thing. Next on the list, number 6, everyone's favorite, Toronto Blue Jays. 33-22, almost 3.5 units won if you bet them. They're 15-12 away, 18-10 at home. St. Louis Cardinals, number 8, 32-24, about 3.5 units won against the spread. And these against the spread numbers do include the juice, vig and juice. So these numbers are everything like that is built into these numbers. So they should be pretty accurate against what your numbers are. Number 9, the Milwaukee Brewers, another team with a good record, 33-24, 18-14 away, 15-10 at home, but another one, minus 1.60 units. You'd be down betting the Brewers in those 57 games. And rounding it off is number 10, Minnesota Twins, 32-25 with only a 1.31 units won, 15-13 away, 17-12 at home. If the Twins could not play the Yankees every year, they would better have a better record at the end of the year. That's for sure. And then after number 10, I know I said I was going to go to the top 10, but you got the Giants at number 11, another minus. Everybody else is minus now, minus 2.2 units. The Red Sox minus 1.77 units, but they're climbing out of that. So the Braves minus 6.2 units, another one climbing out of it. So you can imagine what the Braves were about a week ago, 10 days ago. Same with the Guardians, who've been winning lately. 12-9 at home, by the way, minus 1.85. So those were the ATS numbers. Let me give you the first 5. No, actually, let me give you the ROI, because I only have the ROI for the full game, not for the first 5. But there's 13 teams, actually, out of all the teams in baseball. There's only 13 teams that have a positive ROI. And 2 of them barely make that list of a positive ROI, and that is the Guardians, number 13, and Tampa, number 12. Guardians have a return on investment of only around 0.5%, less than 1, and Tampa has 1.5% ROIs or ROI. Say that 10 times fast. So that's a little bit interesting. So like I said before, it was the Mets, the Yankees, the Pods, the Astros, then the Pirates. Here's the surprise: the Pirates, one of the only 2 teams out of this top 13 ROI teams, which I wrote down to 13. I went over to 10 because there's 13 teams that went a positive. So the Pirates were, and one other team has a bad record straight up and has a positive ROI. Pirates are at 24-29, but they're a tick on the 9% return on investment. So they have won against some of those teams, like we talked about, the Dodgers at big prices. They've also beat a few teams that at decent prices, the Pirates, this year. I'm wondering if they're a team that we follow that, look for them against a Met or a Dodger or an Astro or even a Cardinal, a Guardian, decent teams to good teams, and maybe fade them against the teams that aren't as good, the mid pack to the lower teams. They could be that type of team. We always get 1 or 2 of those teams, and they usually really flourish in the second half. We see what we call a spoiler team, and or teams that, like the Nats last year, they were beating good teams, towards the end. And Miami Marlins are famous for that towards the end of the year in September. So anyhow, things like that to keep our eye out on. But the Cards, the Pirates, 9%. Number 6 in the list is the Cardinals at 6.8%. Then the Twins at 6.3%. Orioles, the other team with the losing record, 24-33, but a 4.6 ROI. I am actually taping this video on June 7th, and the Orioles, Lyles is pitching tonight. I am taking the Orioles at a plus price. We'll see what happens against the Cubbies. Number 9, Toronto Blue Jays. They're only at a 3.3% ROI, and they're number 9 of the top 13 teams with a positive. Number 10, the D-backs. at 2%. Number 11, the Rangers at 2%. They were a little bit above the D-backs, a tad above 2%. Same with the Rangers. And then we talked about already the Guardians and the Tampa and the Guardians. So there you go. Those are the 13 teams ROI. Hopefully it makes some sense. Hopefully it's not it's not too basic for everybody. I think that's I think keeping those kind of numbers in mind are interesting because you can form some opinions on what what's going on with those numbers. At least I do. I'm more of a team capper, and I'm more of a guy who looks at season totals, but only use them for comparison. I really concentrate on 30 days and then and 15 days. And then after the All-Star break, I really concentrate on 15 days, last 10 days, series, things like that, because I really feel like the longer the season goes on, there's more trends that we can hit on in baseball. And that's something that I post a lot of pics on my Twitter at Dom541, and they're always shared with at Who Bangin' Sports Talk, which is at Bangin' Who on Twitter. So which you'll see what the picks I take. I keep to a lot of the same teams. I try to keep when it gets to the second half 5 or 6 teams that I truly concentrate on and bet. And this time of year, I'm already dwindling it down. I'm down to about 10 teams right now that most of the time, not all the time, most of the time I'll be betting them in one form or another, not saying, for or against, or it's a total. Okay, first 5. Let me get this going here so we could wrap this video up. First 5 numbers. The number 1 team against the spread, LA Dodgers, 4.85 units should be ahead. They're 33, 14, and 8 straight up, the Dodgers. First 5, great record. 17 and 5 away. 17, 5, and 6 away. So, pretty good number right there. The Houston Astros, number 2, 33, 16, and 6, with about a 7.5 units won ATS. 15 and 6 at home. 15, 6, and 1 at home. ATS. So that's another pretty good number, man. These Houston also with the unders, they seem to hit on a lot of unders. I'll have that next video will be about totals because it's another. They're not always correlating to the best teams here that are on top of the money line. That's for sure. So anyhow, we got the Dodgers. We got Houston number 3. We got the Mets at 39 and 16 is their straight up numbers first 5, but they are 20 wins, 2 losses, and 5 pushes at home. Money line against the spread, the New York Mets. That might be the best record right now with the first 5. That might be the biggest biggest spread there. 20 wins, 2 losses, 5 pushes. Yankees, number 4. They're 39 and 16 straight up. Again, sometimes when I'm telling you about the units won, they're 9.84 units won. You might have a little bit of a difference. I bet we're not more than a half unit or so apart, depending on closing lines and when you bet the game, what have you. But that's why some of these, against the spread stuff is a little bit subjective, but it still tells you the same story if you ask me. 73%, 71% to me tells you the same story. 58%, 57%, yes, tells you the same story in my eyes. Anyhow, same with 35%, 38%. Okay, the Angels, which is surprising me, and I have to really double check this because we have down the Angels as number 5, first 5 money line, 30 wins, 22 losses, 5 pushes with a plus 3.45 units won. 17, 11, and 2 at home, 13, 11, and 3 away. And they've been on this 13-game losing streak as of this video. And they're on this 13-game losing streak. You can imagine how up they must have been number 1 first 5 for a while, with the numbers being what they are now, the number 5 only after a 13-game losing streak. I'm sure most of those, as I'm saying, the 13-game losing streak, yes, that's full game. I will look into it, but I would surmise that 70% of those, or maybe more, first 5s were also losses. But definitely will. I'll have to make that comparison and check into that for us. Number 6, the Twins, 29, 19, and 8. 4.78 units won, 13, 10, and 5 away, first 5, 16, 9, and 3, first 5. Sorry, I'm looking away. I'm trying to grab these numbers. I got sun coming into the lab here at a weird angle and get me a little glare. Not to mention that I'm getting old and I need glasses stronger and stronger these days. Anyhow, to wrap this up quickly, we got the Padres at number 7 with a nice 6 units won, first 5. So they're good both ways. They're good. They were number 3 ROI, full game money line, 13% ROI. So the Padres have been a pretty good bet. They're getting better and better. They had a little slump drop starting off, and that was it. Number 8, the Giants jumped up to the positive ROI. No, you see here, I'm sorry, I jumped the gun. The San Francisco is number 8 with the straight up record, 27, 21, and 6. But again, a minus 207 units lost if you bet the Giants first 5. 14, 8, and 3 at home, which is the Giants. They usually play good at home. Was surprising that compared to last year, they're 13, 13, and 3 away, first 5 money line. Something to keep our eye on. Will that change? Number 9, the Cardinals, just a little bit over 1.5% first 5, and Tampa a little bit under 1%, a little bit under 1 unit 1. Tampa Bay first 5, and the Cardinals 1.69 units won, first 5, 14, 10, and 3 at home, 13, 12, and 4 away was the Cardinals. And Tampa Bay 15, 10, and 7 at home, 11, 8, 4 away. So yeah, there are a lot of correlations here with these teams away, first 5 at home, of course. And those are the numbers I have. Hopefully they'll help you out. I will be going over the total. I'll make another video tomorrow about the totals, full game in first 5, against the spread, and we will see where teams lie with the totals. And listen, like I said, all this information, yes, some of it's basic, but it could always help us, right? Sometimes going back to basics is the way to go. I'm working on a system along with my brother from another mother, DJ Big Boss, and our crew of guys like Wham, like Big Ragu, like Tease, like our boy Marlon, the guys at the Who Bangin' Sports Talk crew. We're going to try to put together what I wanted, a simpler form of how we handicapping, almost like a workshop, and help out a lot of people with handicapping and stuff. And, something like this to me is part of what that's going to be about. We need to know the basic numbers. We need to know, especially against the spread, but, which teams are, like the Pirates, for instance. If you look at their record, you wouldn't think you would have a 9%, return on investment. So that's something that's to keep something to keep your eye out. Like I say, all the information is good information. So I'm going to get out of here right now. As you can see, I'm very good at rambling. Sometimes I hold my own at gambling. So we'll keep this going. This is Tommy Gunn Ricci at the Who Bangin' Sports Talk Lounge, outside the Who Bangin' Sports Talk Lab. That's it. Keep on getting that lab and lounge mixed up. And there's a whole long hallway you got to walk down to get to that lounge. We have to have that place soundproofed, smoke-proof. You know how that goes. But anyhow, we are in the rambling and gambling, and I will be back tomorrow with a totals video, full game in first 5. Until then, peace.